You're listening to YULRadio.com.
Let go. Top Life listeners, it's time to get excited. We have an amazing guest in our studio this morning. A woman is an accomplished actress, playing roles like Janine Payne in Tyler Perry's House of Pain. And you will definitely see her on Bravo's Atlanta Housewives. But let's talk about her first love, the music. With her hot single 100, you will find her on tour with the Pepsi Funk Fest and R. Kelly. Let's welcome to studio Demetria McKinney.
Hello, Miss Beautiful.
What do you do, gorgeous?
How are you today?
I am well. Blessed to be on this side of the dirt. Amen.
Absolutely. Looking blessed. Beautiful, vivacious, so talented. Tell us what you're up to.
Yo, it's been a lot going. House of Pain is still running. Thank you guys all for the support of that.
Absolutely.
I've been on this new show on Bounce TV called Saints and Sinners, which is kind of Empire meets church. Dun, dun, dun. So that was the last season. We start recording on that again in September. Actually, we go back up for that. I just got back from Chicago doing a guest star role on Chicago Med. Shouts to David Rodriguez. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And just keeping it grinding with the music. Stay in the studio. Stay on tour with R. Kelly. Just stay getting it.
And when do you sleep?
Yeah.
Because it seems like you're just constantly moving.
The good thing about where I am now is, along with everything that's been able to happen, I've developed a great team. They kind of keep me on point, so I don't have to necessarily micromanage and worry about everything. My publicist says she's a kook, that Angie Collins is crazy, but she is awesome at what she does. My management, and then my fiance, he keeps everything on the go for me. So I get to get a little catnap here and there.
It's a good balance.
Absolutely.
Speaking of your fiance, I wanted to ask. We actually interviewed some people you work with by the name of David and Tamala Mann. Yes. Absolutely. And, in your relationship with your fiancé, would you say you learned anything about love from them?
Oh,
anything
my gosh, yes.
You can say, wow, they really taught me that.
I've known them before I ever knew Roger. They were the main cast members of Meet the Browns, which was touring for like a year. And just watching their dynamic work together, watching their dynamic off stage, and seeing how they were able to have that balance and make it so fun was something that I always kind of wanted. And, it was faith-based.
Right.
I cuss, I drink, but I love the Lord.
Amen, baby. Amen.
So having that balance and watching them do it the way that they did, I was like, it can be done. So once Roger and I got together, he works really heavily with them, and he truly, genuinely respects their relationship and has taken little nuggets from them as well. So we have been kind of, low-key mimicking their situation, and it's been working out wonderfully for us for the last 10 years.
That is awesome. That's really cool. It's like better than, one of those dating websites.
Yeah, eman.com.
Absolutely.
Demetria McKinney, how did you get started with the acting and the singing?
Singing I've been doing since I was 3. Now, singing, well, that didn't happen until life started kicking me in my butt. Like, I was that kid who tied a pom-pom to her head and made the family sit down for the family reunion. Y'all gonna listen to me, and y'all gonna pay me too. It was real for me. But acting, I've always kind of been, for lack of a better word, an idiot. I've always been kind of silly, and I've been very observant of people. So when the acting came, it wasn't anything that I really wanted to do necessarily, but it happened and it went well, and it just kept going well. So, thanks to God for that.
Yes.
But music has always been my passion, and it's just continued to get better over the years.
So who have you listened to? Like, who were the people that you listened to when you were younger that, that made you say, I am going to sing, I want to be a singer?
There were a lot of influences. There were the Escapes, there were the Aliyahs, there were the Shaka Khans, there were the Patti LaBelles, but the one that started it all, the end-all, be-all, if nothing else ever happened, I am so blessed that Whitney Houston's voice was ever in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Period. She got me through. She never met me, but in my mind, honey, she was my therapist. She was my go-to. She was my bestie.
What song?
Bestie,
What song?
yeah.
All of them. She was the soundtrack to my life. There was never a moment that I was going through that I couldn't find in her catalog.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whitney Houston?
Absolutely. Always.
Shaka Khan. No, okay. Now my mom was a Shaka Khan fan.
Yeah.
Now, what song from Shaka do you think
Ain't nobody. Oh, okay, yeah, it is. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
You know, and even with touring with R. Kelly, I've made it a point to do a tribute to some of the women who have influenced me musically. And, you know, I definitely get it in with Shaka, definitely do some Patty, definitely do some Whitney. But I've also got Aaliyah in there. I've got Brownstone in there. Shouts to Nikki Gilbert.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there were so many women that I just saw as strong voices, which just really, really inspired me.
Nice. And so what advice would you give to any young woman, man, anyone, an artist for that matter, to get started, to go after their dreams? If they do sing and act, you know, if they're being forced to do one or the other, what advice would you give them? Would you say go ahead and do that one, use it as your, you know, way to step over, or would you say go for it all?
I would say try to be as equal opportunity as you can.
Okay.
You never know what door is going to open the door you're trying to get to. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I never intended on acting, but
That was
it's
what I
gotten
was
me.
wondering.
Yeah, it's gotten me to where I am, and I made a good coin off it.
Here we go.
Y'all won't he will.
Girl,
there we
you know,
go.
girl,
So, you know,
you are a natural.
You are a natural actress. You are a natural. I've always kind of been this way. So, you know, with that, doing that, then I was like, all right, let me go and pimp this over this way. You know what I'm saying? And even with people who think that they really want to be a cameraman, I'll tell them to get into the digital stuff. I'll tell them to get into directing and watching how everything moves, because this whole machine needs each part to work.
Right.
And each gear rubs each gear. You know what I'm saying? So get in touch with all the people, because you never know which person is going to open that door for you.
Absolutely. Very true. Very true. Well, so I did a little research on you.
What you did?
I see you have a son,
Yes.
and I see that you had him early.
Yeah.
How was that? Was it something where you felt like your career took away from your time with him, or vice versa? Did you feel like it slowed you down, or were you just that balancing queen your whole life?
That's an awesome question. You know, when I found out I was pregnant, first off, unexpected as heck.
I can imagine.
But I was in school, you know, and I just made it a point to, it had to happen. It had to go. You know what I mean? There was no option. Whether dude was going to stick around, whether I had any help from anybody else, I had to make it happen. So I moved myself into the project. I went to school and I worked.
Wow.
And it wasn't at that point that I was really chasing my dream yet. I didn't really think that there was any real opportunity for it. So I literally set all my dreams aside for the first 3 years of his life. And then once everything started building up, I made it a point to be in communication with him about everything. He has been my steady, period.
Aww.
And so I've always told him, you know, regardless of who is and who ain't, it's me and you. And I can't do that being away as much as I was without communicating. So now he's 17. He knows exactly what's up.
Ooh.
He's very protective.
Aww. I can imagine.
I was getting ready to ask you, are you like one of those moms that like when people girl home? No, that ain't it.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I think that for some reason.
No.
I don't believe
Now,
that.
okay, listen.
Honey.
Okay, so I will say this. He had this one girlfriend that I was not fond of.
I'm telling you, you just don't seem like the type that like anybody. Okay,
What's your sign?
I'm a Virgo.
Okay.
And my birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday!
You know, I mean, I made him aware that I didn't care for her, but I still allowed him to make his own way. He has to figure out who these ladies in his life are while he's in my house. So when he does, and we have great communication. So he'll come to me with his problems, his worries, his concerns, whatever. But the girl he's with now, he's been with for almost 2 years now. I absolutely adore her. She's super sweet, and she's about him. A lot of us were coming for him to get to me.
Wow.
And that was just so a whack to me. You know, just he's an awesome kid. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's good.
Is he into
Music?
anything like
He's
that?
a DJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're just so talented. Like your talents, I'm sure, pour into him. You know, because your energy is just contagious.
Girl,
It's amazing. I mean,
you are bouncing off the wall.
way more than what I expected. I mean, your pictures online, you know, just as you're gorgeous. You're just amazing, girl.
You're every day.
And I would love that. Seriously. So let me
Wait a
ask
minute,
you.
Demetria, where are you from?
I want to know too.
You gotta be from down south.
Or up north.
Mexico.
No, What?
Albuquerque.
Okay, see what had happened.
I did see that.
I'm a military brat.
Air Force?
Air Force.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, Air Force. course. I was born there. Like, by the time they cut my cord, we were already in the Philippines. And, it wasn't long. So really, I guess Georgia would be my true home. It's the place I've been the longest ever in my life.
Who was in the Air Force, mom or dad? Really? Now my dad is a retired chief in the Air Force.
I knew it wasn't for me.
Yeah, me neither. See, my dad gave me a choice, either school or the Air Force when I graduated from high school. Those were the two choices. I picked school. It was no way I was wearing a uniform.
Yeah, it's a different life. And shouts to the people who give their life for their country.
Absolutely. Just glad there's some, because I don't know that I can.
Seriously, I said the same thing. I said the same thing.
Right, honey, right. You have any friends, like close friends, close personal circle?
It's so weird because I used to have just like plethora of friends and oodles of people around me. But as everything started to grow, people confuse growth with change.
Oh my goodness.
Let me explain what this is right here on today. Okay, so change can go up or down.
Yeah.
Growth isn't always upward bound motion.
Absolutely.
So with me going, people felt like, I was being different, I was being petty, I was being whatever. No, I raised my standards. I wanted y'all to come with me. If you can't dig it, cool. I'll catch y'all when I come back through there.
Right.
Yeah.
But, my circle has become kind of a period. And, when you work as much as I do, thank God, you get to the point where the team becomes your family.
Right.
If they're good people.
They have to be.
If they're good people. If some of my team, we'll talk on a meeting. All right. Good job. Yeah. But it's others that I talk to 12 times a day. Like, hey, what you doing?
Yeah.
I found this. You know what I'm saying? So,
And there's that balance again.
yeah, absolutely. They become your family.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, where do you like to eat? I'm a big food person.
Foodie. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this past Essence Festival, I hosted the McDonald's stage all 4 days. And that was just so much fun. And I've been to New Orleans forever, always. Love it.
Yeah.
I get the beignets and all of that stuff. But I had Drago's charbroiled oysters for the shirt.
Charbroiled.
Oh, let me tell you how it melted my soul.
I can see that right now. I had it that one time, and then it was like for my last meal, that last day, I had it 3 times in that day, all 12 of them to myself. Roger was looking at me like, really, babe? Really? Yes. Don't question me. So that's like, I love seafood. And right now, I'm on oysters.
Yeah, I'm a seafood person.
I have a question.
Wait.
Bucket list.
Yeah.
That's just, need I say more? Some things you did, some things you want to do, some things you haven't done. Have you even created one? What do you want to do? Because you seem like a firecracker. I know you either have or want to skydive or something crazy.
You know what the crazy thing is?
What?
I have no intention of ever skydiving in my life. Ever. Too much like lynching. Can't get with it. It feels like, play suicide. I just don't.
Like Russian roulette or something.
So no bungee jumping. No bungee. No sky.
No zip lining.
I'll zip line.
Okay.
I will zip line. Now that Beyonce thing, didn't Beyonce zip line from one real big building and she just giggling all the way down? Kudos, that's why you the queen.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
But I'm adventurous
Okay.
to a point. I ain't trying to do nothing dangerous.
Animals? Do you like animals?
Oh my gosh,
Would you go like
I'm
deep
such a
sea
dog
diving?
Absolutely.
yeah.
I've done it.
Okay.
I've done it. I've been like surrounded by
Yeah,
sharks
where?
in Jamaica, in the
Oh,
Sorry, in
nice.
Bahamas. Dolphin lover to the nth power, but I am
me too. My age.
not that way. But I am a dog lover. Like my dogs, Brooklyn and Simba, were just supposed to be the only two, and Brooklyn's a thought. Wait a minute. What kind of dog is Brooklyn? Brooklyn is a Lhasa Apso poodle mix, and Simba is a Yorkie, so he's small, right?
my God.
All right, so true story, right? I'm thinking she's too big to do anything with him. You know what I'm saying? We could.
Yeah.
So I'm in my room, and I hear, I'm like, Brooklyn, stop messing with Simba. Be nice, whatever. Okay, I come out, and he's literally stuck. But he's so small, she's dragging him by his face. And that's when I realized that I was going to have puppies.
Shout out to Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn is definitely in the house.
Yes.
That is
Absolutely.
hilarious.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
What's your favorite place to travel? You've been out the country, I'm assuming.
Absolutely, hands down.
What are you on your 3rd or 4th passport?
Right. Dubai is the most surreal place I've ever seen. The architecture, even the cleanliness. You know, you walk around looking for a cigarette, but oh wow, there's nothing. Blades of grass are all at attention. It's just the most. I mean, the ingenuity and the construction and just the mind frame that is there is just absolutely amazing.
Wow. Mind frame. Speaking of mind frame, so when you go to these other countries or things like that, is it a difference in the paparazzi and the fans and the freedom, the privacy? Is there a different, you know, do they recognize you as much? Are they heads over? Because I heard some places, women who look like you would completely be like, just, even if you weren't a celebrity, you would just be like, you know.
Wow.
So does that happen? How do you feel?
I had something like that happen in Guam, PA. Went there during my college days, and it was like I went there with all this money. I came back with all my money. They were like, "Yes, we'll buy you everything.
Oh.
You can have whatever you like."
Oh,
you know,
exactly.
it was very, very coming to America, and I did not know how to deal. But in other ways, they're just so chill that I actually really just get to be myself.
That's
you know, whenever I go to the Bahamas, and I used to be so scared to rock my fro. But every time I went to every time I went to the Bahamas, I was just like, you know what? Yeah, no weave, no bra, let's go. Yes, and I felt so comfortable and so beautiful because there were just so many more of me out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was.
So you are able to just chill out when you go. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Definitely. So tell our listeners where they can catch you, where they can see you, follow you, because, yeah, I'm one of them.
Thank you so much for that. You can follow me at Demi McKinney on Twitter, at Demetria, the number 4 real on Instagram and Facebook. The website is DemetriaMcKinney.com, and make sure that you come and follow me because there's a lot on the horizon. I've got a new lip gloss line. DMK collection is out and popping, and I've got a new single coming, which will be out in September. So you guys just stay tuned, and thank you for all the support. Shouts to the Demetrians.
Well, we with you, baby. Anybody who's against you is crazy because you are amazing. You're a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
And I have been your host for the day, Fifi Lamore, accompanied by Tracy Tart, and we are speaking with the beautiful, unforgettable Demetria McKinney. Love, love, love her.
Thank you so much for
very real,
very real, very real.
Thank you. We love you. Please come back.